A new coach, some new draft picks, but not much has changed for the Lakers. Zach Lowe joining us now. This will be LeBron's 7th season in LA, and 6 of those with AD. And he has said that he believes their championship window is still open.
It's open. I believe him. It's still open.
The latest Lowe post features brand new head coach JJ Redick before Lakers Media Day. And Zach, you broke some news. There's some generating a little buzz about the starting lineup. Let's listen.
Have you settled on a starting 5?
Yeah. It'll be the starting 5 that went 23-10 last year.
D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, LeBron, AD.
Yeah.
You talked about LeBron playing off the ball. A lot of coaches have talked about that. You've talked about shooting more threes. A lot of coaches have talked about that. What do you think is realistically possible?
I think when people hear that in regards to LeBron playing off the ball, it doesn't mean he's not going to have the ball.
RJ, you really miss JJ, don't you? There's a reason JJ likes this lineup as the Lakers went 18-6 with D'Lo, Reeves, LeBron, Hachimura, and Davis starting last season. That's the 3rd best record by any starting lineup to start 20 games together behind only the primary Nuggets and Celtics starting lineups. So, Zach, what do you think is going to be different under JJ?
I don't think much has to be different. This lineup works. I think one of the reasons Darvin Ham isn't the coach of the Lakers anymore is it took him way too long to get to this lineup. It's the obvious choice for the Lakers. And look, when in the LeBron AD era, if the Lakers have had a consistent almost weakness, they've just been kind of in the muck in the half court. It's not easy for them to get good offense in the half court. This is their best shot at spacing, shooting, and a bunch of guys who can screen for LeBron. Rui, you got a weaker defender on you, you come up. And Michael Porter Jr. is going to be barbecue chicken. Sorry, Michael Porter Jr. And like they're both the guard. Here's AD. That's an easy one. That's central casting, pick and roll. But here's where it gets interesting. Reeves can screen. Bring up your smallest defenders. D'Lo can screen. Here's LeBron on the roll with Austin Reeves. You can reverse it that way. They just got a lot of options and a lot of shooting. This is their best shot at a complete team and a complete offense.
No, I agree. And when you talk about Austin Reeves during that Western Conference Finals appearance, the ball was in his hands, late game, making decisions. So you want to see the evolution of Reeves. Can he continue? I think the biggest question is Vando. Obviously, his health. That is a motor that the Lakers are missing. You look at their offensive rebounding numbers last year, they were low. You add Vando to this, now you have another defender, you have another energy guy, you have a guy that can guard some 5s, some 4s, so you can move Anthony Davis around. So really, to me, I know Vando's not starting the season healthy, but he is one of the ultimate keys to the success of this team. And then you have a decision to make with Rui. But if he's coming off your bench and you have that legit 12, 15-point-a-game scorer coming off your bench and you have an energy guy, I love this lineup, but it all depends on the health of Vando.
So you mentioned Vando. All these guys over here, this is what makes me nervous, and this is where JJ and his staff are going to have to find some answers. Because you look at this, you got some rookies, you got some inexperienced players. You mentioned Vando. He's a popular choice for a big role. Every time they get to the playoffs, his shooting becomes an issue, and he gets played out and out and out of the rotation. Connect, JJ's high on him. Some of these guys are going to have to pop because this depth, this is a lot of unproven dudes. Makes me really nervous if one of these guys gets hurt.
And unproven, but they're unproven, but they have experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the biggest answer for this team revolves around, obviously, LeBron and specifically AD. And JJ had some interesting things to say about the off-season conversations he had with Anthony Davis on your podcast. Let's listen.
I've spent some time with him. Went to a lovely dinner in Santa Monica a few weeks back. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna empower him as much as he wants to be empowered. I mean, if he wants to be first team All NBA and he wants to be in the MVP conversation all year long, we're gonna empower him to do that.
So Anthony Davis was 2nd team All-NBA last season, but you have to go back to the 2019-20 season for the last time he made first team. And he has never won MVP, but 2020 is also the last time he even got a vote for the award, finishing 6th that season. All right, let's welcome in Kendrick Perkins to the show.
We're all day.
Hi, Perk.
I'm in my skin.
Okay.
Is that a problem?
All right. AD was huge in 2020, Perk. The Lakers won it all that year. You've been waiting on an MVP for Anthony Davis. Do you think JJ is the coach to get it out of him?
Well, we'll see, right? Is JJ the coach to get it out of LeBron, right? To ask LeBron to take a back seat and actually hand the keys over to Anthony Davis, right? And I strongly believe last season was one of Anthony Davis' best seasons in a Laker uniform. Can JJ get Anthony Davis back to 28 points, 11 rebounds, what he did in a few seasons with the Pelicans? That's only if LeBron James is going to take a back seat. You talk about MVP, having him in the MVP conversations. Well, that's putting up numbers like a guy that's in another conference that's somewhat always compared to him and Giannis Antetokounmpo because they basically play the same position. What is JJ going to do differently than what Darvin Ham did for Anthony Davis? Is he going to get the ball more on the post? Is he going to get it at the free throw line area more? More screen and rolls, more dribble handoffs. What is it going to be? Is it going to be more threes? I think that's a conversation that JJ has to have with LeBron. I heard him talking about taking a back seat to, basically, I heard him talking about, basically talking with AD about, handing him the keys, but is LeBron going to be willing to take a back seat?
No, I agree, but this is the thing. AD is in his prime. If he ends his career, in my opinion, he will be the most talented player to end his career without an MVP or a Defensive Player of the Year. He needs to be in that conversation this season.
So much more.
That's bold.
That's bold.
Is it true?
I'd have to do some research.
It was real.
Oh, well.
A little chop it or drop it, where you decide if we chop up a topic or move on. So let's start with NBA champ Jason Tatum from Celtics Media Day.
Ooh.
I just always feel like overall I can still get better. I'm not at, you haven't seen like the best version of Jason Tatum.
Oh, y'all heard that?
And you shouldn't,
That's
right?
scary.
I'm only 26.
He's only 26.
Love the third person. Love the third person.
Richard Jefferson loves the third person.
Richard Jefferson loves the third person.
But he is, just entering his prime, so you expect him to get better. Tatum has yet to crack the top 3 in MVP voting. Will this be the year, Perk, he finally does? Chop it or drop it?
I want to chop it up a little bit. I want to know what the best version of Jason Tatum look like. Is that a Jason Tatum that's going to try to strive this season as being a 50, 40, 90 guy, being efficient? Just a couple seasons ago, he averaged 30 points. I don't believe he's going to be able to be a guy that leads the league in scoring because of the pieces he have around him. But I just want to know what it looks like. At 6'9", 6'10", are you going to average double-figure rebounds? You're going to be better defensively? I want to see it, but I do think at the age of 26, just knocking at the door of his prime, we haven't seen the best version of Jason Tatum, and that's scary.
Training camp officially opened today, and Zach, yesterday we talked a little bit about the issues with Jason Tatum's shot lately, and Boston Globe's Gary Washburn, he posted this video saying that, it looks like he's quickened the release on his 3 a little bit.
It does look like that, and he shot 38% on threes in a regular season last year. You take that, you're getting closer to peak Jason Tatum, but I think he is going to get better. He's only 26 years old. He's really good at everything. The MVP is just going to be tough because he's only going to average 4 or 5 assists on this team. It's just a loaded team with great talent, but I do think he's got another level to hit, and that jumper, if he can stabilize it again, is a big part of that.
Well, when I worked with Chip England, the famous, shooting coach, he shortened my motion. He, instead of a long, drawn-out motion, he wanted to make it more compact, and that's what it looks like. People would make jokes about Jason Tatum's shot and the way it looked, but his follow-through was perfect. His extension was perfect. It was just about that little hitch before. So just in that quick video, it looks like they've shortened the motion. It's not as long. It's not as drawn. My issue with Jason Tatum when it comes to the top 3 in MVP voting is when you look at the prior MVPs, their stat numbers are so crazy. You're talking about Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, even go back to Russell Westbrook. These guys are averaging 30, 10, 50, it's like their numbers are so crazy. So in order for him to be in that category, he's got to average 30, 10, and 5. And his team has to be first place. That's the only way for him to really get into that category because the other guys, even Luka leads the league in scoring, averages 9 rebounds and almost 10 assists. So when you look at the guys that he's trying to enter into that category with, they have absurd numbers across the board. That's just the way basketball is played, especially when you talk about Jokic, Embiid, and all of those guys that just fill up the stats.
Absolutely. And we'll see what Tatum does because he did say on record that he, is going after MVP this season. And